Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the TRD Off-Road RAV4. This is absolutely crazy that Toyota actually made this, and I'm actually super happy that they made it. So, a big shout out and thank you to Brent Brown Toyota here in Orem, Utah for providing us with the RAV4. Check out their inventory in the link below if you're in the market for new Toyota. They actually have a massive inventory. You guys can see there are cars all around me. It is absolutely crazy. So, check them out. Let's do a walk around on the RAV4 and then take it out to see how it drives. So under the hoodie of the RAV4 TRD, we have a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now power outputs are 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is 25 around town and then 32 on the highway, which I feel like is really solid numbers for this SUV. Now let's finish things up on the front end of the RAV4 TRD. We can go to the hood first and foremost. I really like these muscular lines on the new body style RAV4s. Looks absolutely fantastic. We've got the headlights up front. You can see that they are reflector lights. Definitely more premium, definitely help out visibility at night. You got your fog lights just down below, the Toyota logo right there in the center. It also doubles as a sensor. And then you can see down here they got some kind of like skid plate action going on since this is a TRD off-road package. But here is just one more look at the front end. Around the side here we've got two 25mm tires on 18-inch rims. And then you can see right there in the center it says TRD. I really like the design of these rims, and obviously these tires are way more aggressive than what a normal RAV4 has. You can see there's a bunch of Molly Crawler RAV4s just sitting there, and you can see the tires on them are not nearly as aggressive as the tires here on the TRD. Now you can see that you've got the fender flares just around, and then it goes all the way down the side of the body, obviously to make it look a little bit more aggressive. And then here's a side view on the RAV4 TRD. Now we've got our key fob here for the RAV4, so you got a couple functions, your lock and unlock and your trunk release. Now we can see if it has remote start. You gotta press it, and then we'll hold it down and wait for it. Boom! It does have remote start, so you can see that the RAV4 started right up out of the dual outlet exhaust. Does take a second. And then if you press that button again, that'll obviously shut it right off. I've got the other function, which is the tailgate release, so you press that down and then that'll open up the rear hatch of the RAV4. Now we can pop into the back here. See, this box has all the goodies and everything with it. You can see the floor mat that comes with this, and it actually says TRD Off-Road on it. Then you can see you've got a little cigarette lighter back there, and then this, you can put like this little cargo thing. So obviously to hide your groceries or whatever you're putting in the back of your RAV4. Now, if you pick all this up, just under here there's a little strap that you can essentially pull. You can pick that up. There is the spare tire just underneath that section on the RAV4. Now to close the RAV4, just press that button and that'll shut the rear hatch. And you see that that will lower down. Now that that's popped down, we can kind of go over things stylistically on the RAV4. So you've got the upgraded taillights. I really like the look of those on the new RAV4. Blacked out badging, RAV4 right there, and then it says TRD Off-Road on the other side. Like I said, dual outlet exhaust. And then notice that the roof is painted a lighter color, so you guys can get kind of like a full view of what that looks like. I think it's a really cool look. Definitely breaks up things on the car. And then here's one more look at the rear. Now coming to the rear of the TRD RAV4, we can see you got this nice red stitching, and then you got this padding all throughout on the door panel. Window control here, one of the door handles. And then here are the seats in the rear of the RAV4 TRD. Now they got this cool red contrasted stitching with this really neat design. The leather on it's actually pretty soft, smells good. Obviously you can't smell it through the camera, but you gotta trust me on that, guys. Now, got your cup holders right here. You got the vents there in the rear, and then you got a couple charging stations. And then notice that there's a pocket in the back there, but not on the driver's side. But here's one more look at the rear. Now I've got keyless entry, so one touch to lock it, and then to unlock it, just put your hand on the back of the door handle, and that'll unlock the front. Now you can see the door panel here in the front. Again, got this nice soft touch all throughout. You've got all of your window controls right here, your door lock and unlock, and then you got your mirror controls. That is again for the door handle. And then you can see the seat here in the front. So you've got these really nice bolsters on the side of the seat. You got the red contrasted stitching. It says TRD at the top. It's really soft with that headrest. But cool design, nice perforations throughout the seat. They are fully power adjustable. You got the pedal layout. It's just down below. That's your gas release, that's your hood release. And then you got a couple of light controls up here, heated steering wheel, and that is your tailgate. And then if we throw all the stuff away, you can see that the steering wheel is going to be manually adjustable. And then here's just one more look at the cabin before we step inside. Now to start up the RAV4, put your foot on the brake, push the push start. Everything will come to life, the gauges will do sweep, and then it says RAV4 as it's climbing over some stuff, which I think that's a really cool starting graphic. Here is the steering wheel in the RAV4. Now we can zoom in. Got the Toyota logo there in the center. This is for your cruise control, and then you get your lane departure assistance, your collision warning. Got little modes for the stereo, and then you've got your volume controls, voice command, phone, and then this is for the center stack. We'll go over that momentarily. Nice leather wrapped, you got stitching in the center, and then you've got a couple stocks. So over here, that is your windshield wiper stock, and then that is your light stock, and then also your turn signal stock. Now we have the gauge cluster right here. You've got your RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got your fuel gauge and your temperature gauge, and then you've got the little center menu, which you can scroll through a couple different screens on this. It's pretty easy to use. I like how the speedo looks in the center, how it kind of like wraps around. It's kind of a cool look in general, but just like most upgraded cars nowadays, it's pretty configurable with that little center stack. Now here is the center infotainment screen, and let's go over the backup camera first and foremost. So if we pop it into reverse, backup camera is going to pop up. You got trajectory lines that'll turn with the steering wheel, and then you can change between a couple different views, so you can see how that just changes the overall camera view with the system. And then if we pop it back in to park, we can see that you've got buttons on the side of the screen. So you've got your analog buttons. It does have a touchscreen function to it. You can see when I press things, I feel like it's pretty responsive when you actually do use the touchscreen. Obviously you don't want to get copyrighted, so can't listen to the music, but the buttons and the screen, all of them, I think they work pretty well. I like these dials, how they feel. They have a pretty nice feel to them. Actually, that one, the feedback on it's pretty good, but this volume dial, I'd like it just how it feels. Now I've got our analog climate controls here. It is a dual zone climate, and again, these climate controls, they have a nice little feel to just the dial actuation. Heated and ventilated seats, which is really nice. You got your stability control. A couple charging stations down here with this cool kind of like rubber stuff. Again, more red accenting since this is an off-road SUV. Now over here, you can see this is our shifter for that 8-speed automatic. You can shift the gears yourself if you'd like. You got your parking brake right there. That is your auto hold. You got all of your drive modes, which we're going to go over those in a moment. Cup holders down in this area. You've got your armrest, and then we can actually pick it up and see there's plenty of storage space. And then coming over to the glove box, we can see there's storage above the glove box. Nice stitching with some soft touch. And then we can open up the glove box and see pretty massive size glove box. But let's get into the drive modes now. So you can see this has a ton of different drive modes. You have your eco, your normal, your sport. You've got your mud and sand, rock and dirt, and then you push it down to go to normal. You've got your snow mode, you got your hill descent control. So those are all going to pop up on the center screen. So if I go into eco, for example, you can see how it changes the gauges. Go into normal, how that changes the gauges. Sport makes everything red and aggressive. And then I go into the sand, you can see how that changes it and how it changes some systems. And then I go over into the rock mode, and then I can go into the snow mode, for example, push down, go back into normal. So it's cool just how it looks with the different modes, you know, actually in the gauge cluster. I love that red accenting and then also the green accenting. I think that's a pretty neat touch by Toyota. We've got our little sunglass holder up here, and then this is the sunroof. You can see that you can see one of the bars that goes across the top through the sunroof. Pretty easy to use. I actually like the headliner. It's actually pretty soft to the touch. Other than that, things are pretty simple up top, and it is a lighter colored headliner, just like the car. So the car is black on the bottom, and then it's light on the top, and so is the interior, so it all matches. So now that we are finished going over the interior, let's talk about pricing. So this particular RAV4 TRD Off-Road, with all the options that it has, stickers for about $38,000 before any type of market adjustment, which I feel like is actually a really good value. It's pretty close in price to all the other SUVs that are in the segment. However, this is like an off-road package, and if you compare this to, like, you know, for example, a Cherokee Trailhawk, which this is going to be competing against, you know, price point, it's actually pretty close. It actually is a little bit less than some of those Cherokee Trailhawks because they go in excess of $40,000. That all being said, though, let's take this RAV4 TRD Off-Road out to see how it drives. Talked about visibility before we set off. Visibility over the hood is identical to any other RAV4. You can see visibility throughout the mirror, and the other mirror does have blind spot monitoring. And then throughout the rear, it's really cool to see TRD on the back of the seat, by the way. I feel like visibility is really good. That back window there definitely helps out with that blind spot back there. So overall, I feel like visibility in this RAV4 is pretty solid, and let's set off. Now, initially setting off here in the RAV4, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. So compared to a regular RAV4, I feel like the ride quality is identical, even though this has a little bit more aggressive setup on the tires. You don't really suffer at all with that. And then, you know, in terms of noise that comes into the cabin, again, I feel like it's identical. Like, you don't get worse ride quality, you don't get more road noise because of this TRD package. So that is definitely a huge win, especially since you can get all the luxury features too, like heated and ventilated seats and all that kind of stuff. Now, in terms of steering, you can see that the responsiveness on the steering rack is actually really solid. I feel like it goes right where I put it. I mean, the responsiveness on it's really solid. I mean, you can see I'm kind of darting around here, and someone behind me probably thinks that I'm drunk driving or something like that, but I feel like the steering response on it is super, super solid. Now, we are going to get a little acceleration with the RAV4 TRD. Yeah, and I mean, acceleration-wise, it's just like all of the other RAV4s. Would I want a little bit more power? Yes. However, this gets really good fuel economy for the segment that it's in, and I feel like it's more than enough power. It's, you know, it's right in that adequate range where you get good fuel economy and you have enough power to get around, and, you know, you really don't need a whole lot of power on the off-road because most of it's just low-end torque and just being able to move over things, you know, slowly, obviously. So this definitely gets, you know, things done from a power perspective for what the SUV is going to be used for. Now, to sum things up on the TRD RAV4, if you are looking for, you know, obviously something that's very practical and something can get good fuel economy, but then also has some off-road capability, this RAV4 TRD is going to check all of the boxes for you. I feel like it's got a really cool look with it. That roof design is definitely a really neat roof design, I would say. So if that's kind of everything that you are looking for, then definitely check out this new RAV4 TRD. There we have it, everyone. The 2020 RAV4 TRD Off-Road, absolutely awesome SUV. I love the looks of it. I love the whole like roof design. I think that's really cool. They did a lighter colored roof. But anyways, again, a big shout out and thank you to the Brent Brown Toyota here in Orem, Utah for providing us with the RAV4. Check out their inventory if you're in the market for a new Toyota. If you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe. I'll see all of you in that next video.